What's going on, everybody? Coach Cala here, aka Jesse Cala. Trying to do a live chat for Match Chat episode 7, and I'm going to tell you my NCAA rankings predictions. So I'll give it a couple minutes just to see if anyone joins. If not, we'll get right into it. Look, been pretty good. One of my wrestlers made the state open in Connecticut, which is the toughest tournament to make. He's a third-year wrestler, and he took 6th at states. And then my other wrestler took 3rd in the conference, which was cool. I'm the New Haven wrestling coach. We just made sweet pizza shirts. I wore mine the other day, so I'll have it for next time. But yeah, I've been really busy with wrestling. The last weekend's probably this weekend, unless anyone makes the New England tournament. Besides that, super excited to get into Big Tens. I'm a High Rocks athlete, so we're doing a High Rocks next week in DC, so I probably won't be on for Big Tens, but I'll try my best to do a Big Tens ranking video for next week as well. So I'm pretty excited to get all that going. But I'll give it a minute to see if anyone joins. All right, some note paper and pad. Let's see what we got. But anyway, that Oklahoma State versus Iowa match was literally just incredible. Oklahoma State's really good. I don't know if they could beat Penn State yet, but Oklahoma State, I would say, it will be the team that dethrones them. Not Ohio State, not Iowa, not Virginia Tech. It will be Oklahoma State. But I don't see Penn State losing until maybe when Luke Lildahl graduates. So when Vega and Jax Forrest are seniors. So we'll see. All right, just writing down some notes. All right, we're gonna get into it. Well, let me just see. NCAA predictions. Close. All right. Again, sorry I haven't been on the last 2 weekends. I was at a wrestling tournament all day, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday I was way too tired to do a match chat, which probably wasn't the best since Oklahoma versus Iowa was one of the biggest matches of the year, but I wasn't feeling good, and that happens. And then the week before, when it was Penn State versus Ohio State, I was at another all-day wrestling tournament. For all the wrestling coaches out there and wrestlers that are listening, you will know how tough that is. But let's get into it. I am going to share my screen and see what WrestleStat has, because I love that they do it first, and then I could just talk while we are watching that. All right, let's see. We're of course going to start at 125. One of the most exciting weights. Sorry, let me just fix my screen so I could see me, you, and the. All right, perfect. So WrestleStat right away has Luke Lildahl, number 2, who I thought was going to beat Luke Lildahl. Probably not at Penn State, but eventually. Troy Spratley, number 3, returning NCAA finalist. Hasn't had the best year. Eddie Ventresca is a beast, but he did not look great against Spratley in that match at Virginia Tech. It was pretty boring. Sheldon Seymour's pretty good. Steve O'Pullen, the Mohawk kid from way back in the day. So I'm pretty pumped that he's still around. I'm happy he was an All-American last year. And look all the way down here at number 7, the returning champ, Vincent Robinson. That is crazy. Number 8, Dean Peterson. Number 9, Milford and Stratford area zone, Nico Provo. I'm from Milford, and that's where I coach. But yeah, so I personally think 125's not the most exciting weight class. I think it's a little too boring. They would all definitely mess me up, but I'm going with Nick Bouzaxis over Lildahl. I think Luke's going to beat him at the Big Tens, and I think Nick's just going to have a really good day 3 of the tournament. I think they're both going to make the finals. He's going to have that early day 3 weigh-in. He's wrestled Luke. He'll be wrestling Luke for the 3rd time, and I think Nicky B has it in the bag for the finals this year. Nothing against Luke Lildahl. I think he's a beast. If Nick looks bad at Big Tens, I'll probably switch my prediction. But 1 month out right now, I'm going to say Nick Bouzaxis is going to dethrone or take on Luke Lildahl in the NCAA finals. 125, Nick B. All right. Now, he did not look great against Lodahl in that Penn State match, so it's tough to say, but it was so low scoring and boring that it's tough when they're not trying against each other. I also had no idea they were high school teammates, so maybe that played a factor into it. I'm no expert, but we'll see. All right, time for weight number 2. By far the most exciting weight. I don't care what anybody says. Let's see what WrestleStat has. Lucas Bird, 133. Marcus Blaze, amazing freshman. Ben DeVito, amazing freshman. Their match was good. Not as boring as Little Doll Nick Buzaxis. However, not nearly as much action as number 4, Jax Forrest. Number 5, Evan Frost. Haven't seen him wrestle in quite a bit. Kyler Larkin. I can't remember if he's the Larkin brother that was ranked number 1. No, I think it was his brother. Aaron Seidel. If anyone watched Virginia Tech versus Jax Forrest, Seidel had 3 takedowns against Forrest and still lost 10-9. Now, I'm not saying he's going to not win, but I think Jax has the best of him this season, but he's going to have his comeback year next year. Returning finalists, I only lost to Lucas Bird last year, and I think that's it off the top of my head. Yeah. Drake Ayala, number 9, he might not even make it. I mean, he lost to number 10 this year too. So with that being said, although I love Lucas Bird and I think he's a beast and he's jacked and his TikTok's great, I really enjoy watching Marcus Blaze on his podcast and stuff, Ben DeVino. My pick is going to be Jax Forrest. After he teched Drake Ayala the other day, if he wrestles like that at the NCAA tournament, there is nobody beating him. I'm sorry. I know they're comparing Marcus Blaze to Kyle Dake and Jax Forrest to David Taylor, which is totally fine. I just don't know if Marcus Blaze will be able to defend all those shots he shoots. I mean, we all thought Mitchell Messenbrink was going to win his freshman year too. And then David Carr got that W over him. I just think if all goes right, Jax is going to continue to shoot and Marcus might get hit with a stall call early on. But I think it's going to be those two in the finals. I'm going to say Jax beats Bird if he's on the same side of his bracket, and he should be if it's 1 versus 4, and then Marcus versus DeVino. Now, I do think DeVino might get his get back this season, but I think he'll only get it at the Big Tens. I don't think anyone's beating Marcus Blaze at the NCAA tournament unless it's Jax Forrest. So for 133 pounds, the most exciting weight class, I'm going with Jax Forrest, the transfer high school freshman. Yes, I don't care if he's 19 years old. He's still a transfer from high school in December. So shout out Jax Forrest for doing amazing things and starting a trend, man. Jax Forrest. All right. Moving on to the third weight class, 141. Pretty top heavy with the 3 wrestlers up top. Jesse Mendez, number 1, 2-time champ. Sergio Vega, amazing freshman, has beaten number 3, returning Big Ten champ and NCAA finalist Brock Hardy. Luke Standish, number 4, I believe he's from Lehigh. Yeah, he has not wrestled any of the big matches. At least I haven't seen him. Anthony Ekamandia, Vega beat him, and Ekamandia is jacked and fast, and I do not understand how nobody takes Vega down. It's amazing to watch. Other than that, though, not much to talk about in this one. I think everybody knows it's going to be Vega versus Jesse Mendez. I don't see Brock Hardy getting his get back against Vega in no way. I think Jesse Mendez is going to tech his way through or bonus his way through to the finals. And that's where he's going to wrestle Vega, where Vega, I believe, will beat Brock Hardy in the semis and then wrestle Jesse in the finals. Unfortunately, I don't think Vega has enough in him to beat or to stop Jesse Mendez. I mean, he's teching Ryan Jack. He majored Brock Hardy, teched Braden Davis, returning Big Ten champ or freshman year Big Ten champ. I mean, he's destroying really good wrestlers. So, I'm all for Jesse Mendez, and he has a great name. Shout out to the Jessies in the world. But I'm all for it. Sergio Vega, I think he's going to be a 3-timer. I just really think this is the only year he will most likely lose. Nothing against him if he's the one person listening, but Jesse Mendez, you got my vote at 141. You are an absolute beast. Mendez, 141. If you're in the chat, comment who you got for 141, 125, 133. I do not mind going back to any of the weights. That absolutely love doing this podcast. That was my goal for 2026 to start my little mat chat. And I think it's been going really good. I got tons of followers, tons of watch hours, and that's what it's about, baby. But I need more subscribers. Come on. Let's get to 1,100. 50 away. 55 away. Let's go. All right, let's move on to the next weight. Similar to 141, at least from the matches I've been watching this year, and I've watched quite a bit. Shane Van Ness, number 1, Penn State. Jackson Joy, have not watched him, from Cornell. Coy Buzgens, no clue who that is. Colin Gage. Honestly, everybody, well, Swiderski, I wish wrestled the other day against Iowa because that would have been a really good match for Ryder Block. I think Block will be an All-American. Aiden Valencia will be an All-American. And nobody is beating Shane Van Ness this year. There's no Caleb Henson. There's no Ridge Lovett. No, Shane Van Ness seems like the man. The podcast he just did with Marcus Blaze and Connor Pierce was awesome. Shane Van Ness is beating everybody. It's not even going to be close. He's 18-0 right now, 100% bonus. Like, he's just one of those guys that's not in the running for the Hodge because his teammate is Mitchell Messingbrink and Josh Barr. But Shane Van Ness is an absolute beast, and there is no shot anyone beats him. 149 SVN. Just seems like a great dude, too. All right, moving on to 157. Going to try to slow down so we can get it to at least 20 minutes watch time. Wow. Meyer Shapiro, number 1, huh? So right now we have Meyer Shapiro, number 1. And he placed 5th last year. He lost to Kasak and Trelly. Antrell Taylor, returning champ, junior, number 2. Had a few losses this year, but he's still an absolute beast. Brandon Cannon, number 3. He's been hurt for the longest time. Honestly, I can't even tell you the last time I saw him wrestle. Landon Robideau came out to Michael Myers' song the other day, which was sick. True freshman, I believe. He is a killer, but I don't think he can beat Antrell or Meyer. PJ Duke, number 5, he will be a top 3 easily. And then so on and so on. Now, I don't think Meyer Shapiro is going to beat PJ Duke. I think they're going to be on the same side of the bracket. And I think Trelly at the end of all of this will be the 1 seed. And I think Trelly's going to win it all this year. Actually, you know what? I think PJ Duke might be the 1 seed because I think he's going to beat Trelly at Big Tens. But then Trelly's going to win it all at NCAAs like last year. And he'll probably say something like, to beat the champ, you got to beat the champ. I think it's going to be Duke versus Antrell Taylor. I don't see any of these guys beating him. Landon Robideau is a beast freshman too, like similar to PJ Duke, but he just doesn't have that attack rate. At least in that Iowa match the other day, I was like, come on, bro. You just came out to Michael Myers. Like, you got to go a little bit harder than that. But, yeah, from 157, I think it's going to be Duke versus Antrell Taylor, and I got Taylor winning it all. Cornell just doesn't wrestle enough people for me to, like, first off, I never watch him wrestle. He's got all those concussions from last year, Meyer Shapiro, and I just think Antrell Taylor's going to peak at the right time. I think Duke's going to destroy him, though, at Big Tens. I'll tell you that right now. Funny enough, my friend Nick Newell, MMA legend, wrestled PJ Duke a few years ago, he said, so that's pretty cool. He is from my friend's hometown in New York, Carmel, but I really think Trelly is going to win the NCAA, especially when he has that, like, it factor at the end of the match. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing against Penn State during the home match at Penn State. Like, he did not want to wrestle his match. I'm sure other refs would call more stalling and probably would have given PJ Duke that takedown, but that's not what happened. He wrote him out in the 3rd period, wrestled really tough. Sorry, not the 3rd period, in overtime, wrestled really tough. And I just think that Trelly has that if factor to win it all. But yeah, my finals prediction will be PJ Duke versus Antrell Taylor, and I got Trelly winning it all. But I really do think PJ Duke will probably bonus him at the Big Tens. All right, moving on. 165. We're halfway through. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me if we can get to 1,100 followers. That would be huge. Started off the year with 1,000. I'm at 1,045. So let's go, people. Come on. Let's be honest. Ladarian Lockett, Caliendo, Messingbrink, and Joey Blaze. Only 4 people that are going to have any shot at winning it. No offense to any of these other guys. I'm sure they work super hard in their room. If Caliendo wrestles like he did last NCAA finals, where he lost 3-1 to Messingbrink, maybe 3-2, I forget what it was. He might have a shot. After that match the other day with Lockett and Caliendo, there is no chance. No offense to Ladarian Lockett. I'm sure he would destroy me too. No offense, man. I think you just gotta push the pace a little bit more, and you'll be way better than these guys in a few years. But I think it's going to be Caliendo versus Messingbrink, and Messingbrink is going to tech him. Now, the only reason why I don't give Joey Blaze the win right now is because I think, according to these rankings at least, Messingbrink is going to be on the same side as Joey Blaze. Now, Joey Blaze did beat Caliendo, so he could be the 2 seed, but I think Lockett's going to win Big 12, so he'll stay 3. And then for head-to-head, Caliendo has beaten Lockett. So I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3. And then, you know what? If Caliendo does wrestle Blaze in the semis, then we'll see. That was a really good match. Awful filming. Not sure if anybody watched that Purdue match, Joey Blaze versus Mikey Caliendo. Blaze was like doing a reversal and they weren't even showing it. They were just talking or zooming in on the person talking. Like it was awful. I mean, Purdue, man, figure it out. But yeah, for 165, there is nobody beating Mitchell Messingbrink. He is an absolute beast. I'm gonna call him Missile Messingbrink because he's a maniac. He's so fast. Missile Messingbrink. That should be a shirt. If he's the one person watching, that should be a shirt. All right, moving on to 174. Now, I think everyone's fan favorite is Levi Haynes. I personally like watching him a lot. I think he's a great wrestler. He's a true senior, which is like unheard of for Penn State in today's world. Took second as a freshman, seems like yesterday. Won it all as a sophomore. Lost to Dean Hamity last year in the semis, and took third. I don't think anyone's beating Levi Haynes. Really similar to Mitchell Messingbrink. He's just on a whole nother level than these guys. Minto did wrestle a really good match against him. It was 8-6, but Penn State was really off that day, and I think Levi just wasn't having his best match. I just don't think Minto has enough in him to dethrone Levi Haynes and how good of a All-American wrestler he is and past NCAA champion. Kennedy will not make the finals. He wrestles so slow. I just don't understand how the double collar tie front headlock is not stalling. And I get it. He's wearing and tearing you like Jordan Burroughs was saying the other day. But like that's like the same thing with the knee thing. Like if you're not working to score and you're just holding on the guy there, like it's too boring to watch. And yeah, you would definitely beat me up, sure, but I don't know. I don't even see him making the finals. Sorry, Patrick Kennedy. I'm sure you're the man in real life. Karshla has not wrestled the last 3 weeks, but if it is versus Haynes in the semis, that would be a much closer match. And I think it will probably be Chris Minto versus Kennedy on the other side. But yeah, Levi Haynes for sure. He's just way too good. Such a good dude. Levi Haynes, 174 champ. If you're in the chat, if you think anybody else, please comment right now. That would be awesome. If not, no worries at all. I tried my best to give about a 1 day notice of when I was going to do this. And then I wrote at 6 or at 5:45 an hour before. So I feel like I gave enough time. All good. If not, I know I missed the last 2 live videos, but when you work all these jobs and coach high school wrestling, those tournaments do not stop. So I have other stuff to do too. All right, let's move on to I would argue the second most popular and exciting weight class, and that is 184. So at 133, I mean, you have Davino, Blaze, Bird, Ayala, Jax Forrest, Seidel. You have so many amazing people at 133, and I would say it's very similar, especially being freshman, sophomore heavy for 184. Right now, Rocco Welsh, absolute monster. I do not see him losing, but I don't know if he has enough in him to win. So we're going to talk about that. Right now, the 1 seed, Rocco Welsh, absolute beast. He was an NCAA finalist 2 years ago, maybe 3. His only loss was to Carter Starachi. Off the top of my head, I don't know if he lost another match that season. Now, the knock on his tournament that year was he was on the really easy side of the bracket. Now, I don't care what anyone says. As a true freshman taking second, I mean, you got to be good. I do remember, the kid from Stanford and the past Virginia Tech champ were on the same side as Carter Strachey. I don't know why I'm blanking on their names. It'll come back to me. And Carter had to beat all three of them, or the both of them, to make the finals. But yeah, Rocco Welsh, you're an absolute beast. Aiden Sinclair, awesome freshman to watch, super exciting. Max McAnally only lost to Parker Kekheisen and Carter Strachey last year, took third. He's been having a little bit of a rough year. He's 17-1, but all of his matches have been going into overtime, and I'm sure the NCAA is going to be on the refs to make it more exciting and call more stall calls. So I don't know how that's going to happen. Similar to Angelo Ferrari, I still think he has enough in him to win, but right now he has not been wrestling at all since he lost to Rocco Welsh in that triple overtime match where he hurt his knee, maybe. So I don't know what's going on with him. Silas Allred still in the running. I mean, he beat a former Penn State champ twice. That was sick. Max Dean. He beat Max Dean twice, which was a great match. Freshman Brock Mantanona. But if I had to pick right now, I'm actually going to go with Ben Askren trained Aiden Sinclair. I think he's just more exciting. And if they start working those stall calls and pressuring people in the NCAAs because of how crazy the season's been with the no stalls, the no takedown, I think Aiden's going to play the system really nice and get a win over Rocco Welsh. Now, if the Rocco Welsh comes that beat the Ohio State guy and teched the person before that, I'm blanking on the names right now. I think he could still win, but I think Aiden over Rocco in the finals, freshman versus sophomore. If you're Askren trained, you're probably got that cardio and that technique to just keep scoring nonstop. Now, if Ferrari is healthy at Big Tens, he'll be my pick. He's just there's no way they're gonna keep letting that one leg stuff work. I just can't imagine. Same with Ladarian Lockett wrestling on two legs the other day. Like, it's just not like good wrestling. Like, what are we doing? And I didn't wrestle Division I. I didn't, my brother wrestled D3. We're all pretty good in high school, but like, you can't wrestle on your knees. Like, that's crazy. But yes, I'm going to go Sinclair for my pick at 184. 184 over Welsh, unless Ferrari comes back for Big Tens. If Ferrari's back for Big Tens and wrestles a good tournament, I think he can win it all. I don't see him losing more than 2 matches this year. He just adapts really well, and he did beat Sinclair, and I believe he beat McAnally. I don't know if he was there for that match. But yeah, he's an absolute beast too, Ferrari. He is Iowa's last hope to make them relevant, to make anything matter for Iowa, because after Caliendo graduates, Patrick Kennedy graduates, Drake Ayala, Dean Peterson, after they all graduate this year, I don't know what is going to happen to that program. Similar to 57 and 60, or sorry, similar to 65 and 74 with Messenbrink and Levi Haynes. This is like the easiest weight class. I'm sorry, everybody. When you have Mo and Dean come in, 3-time Division III champ, beating who did he beat from? Pittsburgh, maxed out. And Rocky Elam having a triple overtime match with Cody Merrill, there is no chance anybody beats Josh Barr. Josh Barr is a teching machine, probably the top 3 runner-up for the Hodge. I think they're going to give it to Mendez only because he's a senior. I hope they don't do that thing where they had Gable and Spencer Lee get it at the same time. That never made sense to me. But Josh Barr is just must-watch wrestling. He is so good at wrestling. I'm not trying to glaze, but he is really good to watch. He techs everybody. Even if it's 2 or 0-0 in the third period, or 2-2 in the third period, he can still tech you. When he teched that kid from Rutgers last year in a minute 40, like, that was just like, is he trying? Is he not trying? So without a doubt, 197 goes to Josh Barr. He's just an absolute beast, just a great wrestler. Going into this year, everybody thought Connor Mirasola was going to give him a run for his money. Connor did wrestle a few great matches. I think he lost twice, though, maybe once. And then Josh Barr comes in and he's just attacking everybody. He's just too good. And he seems like a pretty nice guy. Like even after he texts them, he's like, nice job, man. It's pretty funny to watch. Josh Barr, man. What an absolute beast. 197. If you're just joining, I'll just review all of my picks so far. At 125, I have Nick Buzaxis winning over Luke Lodahl. I think Luke Lodahl or Lightning Luke is going to beat him at Big Tens, and then Nick B on that third weigh in. I don't know if they get an extra pound in college like we do in high school for each day, but he's going to be fueled up. He's going to have like 10 hours to wrestle. He'll probably get a pump in before he wrestles. I think Nick is going to be probably like 145 when he goes to wrestle Luke Lodahl and get that win. 133, Jax Forrest. If Jax Forrest wrestles like he did against Drake Ayala, where he teched him, there was nobody beating him. And I don't know what it is with the Oklahoma State guys. Whenever anyone shoots a high C, they go right to that near side cradle, which is just so sick, where they hook the leg. Like, that is just so high level. Can't even. I could not do that. I can't even teach that probably. It's just so sick to watch. So I'm gonna have Jax Forrest over Lucas Bird in the semis, and then him versus Blaze in the finals. Not much to talk about here. 141, Jesse Mendez over Sergio Vega. I love watching Sergio Vega. He's such a beast. He beats everybody. He tags and cradles everybody. I just don't know how anybody could beat Jesse Mendez. He's like on David Taylor shit right now. David Taylor's senior year, where he was just tagging everyone, or Zane Rutherford. It's just crazy. 157, is it going to be a close one? That's going to be the other exciting weight class. But I think PJ Duke's going to beat Trelly at the Big Tens in the finals. I think he's going to bonus him because he's probably so mad about the home loss. And I think that's his only loss of the season. But I think Duke's going to be wrestling tougher guys during the tournament, similar to that Michigan kid that he wrestled, where it was like a 10-8 match. And then I think Trelly is just going to be like, I'm the champ on that third day. And he's going to be telling himself to be the champ. You got to beat the champ. And I think Trelly's going to get that W. Plus, after learning more about his background and stuff, it's just, how can you not root for him? Even though I do think after this year, Duke will be a 3-timer. Not much to really talk about for 165. I call him Missile Messingbrink because he does not stop scoring. And him and Jax Forrest have that thing where they pressure forward. So, like, if Jax is wrestling somebody like Marcus Blaze or Lucas Bird, where they're a little bit more reserved when they're wrestling, how are they not going to get hit for stalling? I'm sure the networks are telling the NCAA that they have to score more points. They want more people watching. Like, they're not going to want to watch stalling and boring matches, especially in the finals. So we'll see what happens. Levi Haynes, 174. I couldn't even tell you the second person. They had Patrick Kennedy, number 5 on WrestleStat. So I'm not going with anybody besides Levi Haynes. He's just a true champion. Hopefully he's going to get that W. The second most exciting weight class with all of the lightweights, the freshmen and sophomores, I'm going Sinclair. I think Welsh is going to win Big Tens. And but my only thing is, if Ferrari is wrestling, I think he's going to take one more loss or injury default at Big Tens. There's no way he's wrestling 5 matches that weekend. His first weekend back. There's no way. I can't imagine. Now, I think personally he'll probably be mad and pull a Nick Soriano and transfer. I don't know how he stays at Iowa. He's got to realize, the writing on the wall is that Iowa's going downhill next year. I know they have 5 really good commits coming in 2027, but 2026, 2027 is going to be a rough year. Unless he wrestles the 125-pounder they have. And if Steve Mako's kids are there, they should be okay. But, man, they got to figure it out. And I love the Brands brothers. But, yeah, they got to figure it out. But with that being said, I think I have Sinclair over Welsh in the finals because I feel like Sinclair is going to be wrestling Welsh. Yeah, Mizzou. No, Mizzou's not in the Big Ten. I feel like Sinclair's going to be wrestling Welsh, similar to Mitchell's going to be wrestling Caliendo or any of those guys, pushing the pace forward. Again, they're both Aspirin guys. And I feel like Welsh might get hit with a stalling call. But I feel like there's 2 types of Rocco Welsh's too. He goes out and texts people sometimes too. When he rocked Silas Allred, I mean, if he comes out like that, nobody's beating Rocco Welsh. He's such a beast. But I got Sinclair beating him. If it's a reserved match and Sinclair's pushing the pace, I think the refs got to figure out the stalling and stuff for them. 197. After watching Rocky Elon versus Cody Merrill, and no disrespect to Cody Merrill, I think he'll be a future national champ. Send him to Dagestan 2 or 3 years, even though he did. There is no way anybody beats Josh Barr. He's just way too good at wrestling. He texts everybody. He's so good. So I actually think Penn State's gonna have 3 champs this year. They had 2 last year, and didn't they have 4 finalists? Or I think Penn State had 4 finalists last year. 3 champs. Sorry, 2 champs last year. I think this year they're definitely getting 3. And then moving on to the last weight class. Honestly, one of the most exciting weight classes too. Now, all season I was about AJ Ferrari, but after his losses to Nick Feldman, I think he's going to be the 4 seed because I think it's going to be Bastida, Trumbull, and I think Feldman because Feldman's probably going to win the Big Tens over AJ Ferrari. And I watched Isaac Trumbull destroy Nick Feldman, so Feldman's out for me. Plus his loss to Cole Mirasola. I hope Cole is an All-American. I don't know if Cole wins it, and I'm a twin too, so I'm always rooting for the twin brothers, but it's just tough to watch. Gadali has had really good wins as well, but I'm going with the beast, the Cubano, Younger Bastida versus Isaac Trumbull in the NCAA finals, and it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be low scoring only because of how tough it is to score on Isaac Trumbull, but I think Younger is just going to toughen it out. If anybody just watched David Carr's video of All Access for Younger Bastida, I was like, nobody is beating him at all. But yeah, for heavyweight, I got Younger Bastida over Isaac Trumbull. So those are my NCAA predictions. I'm going to say Iowa has no final. No, I'm going to say Iowa has 1 finalist this year with Mikey Caliendo. I think they're still going to have a few All-Americans. I still think they can get a lot. I think Dean Peterson's an All-American. Drake Ayala's going to figure it out. An All-American, probably take 7th or 8th. I think Ryder Black's an All-American, even though he's the 16th seed according to WrestleStat. Caliendo is definitely All-American. Patrick Kennedy. Maybe I should make a video on that. I just don't see them having a champ. Again, Buzaxis, number 1 for Ohio State. He's going to win it. I think Mendez is going to definitely win it. So 2 champs for Ohio State. And then for Oklahoma State, just Jax Forrest right now. So I'm going to say 3, 4. So 2 for Ohio State, 1 for Oklahoma State, 1 for Iowa State, and then 3 for Penn State. Is that 10? Let me see. 2, 3, 4, 3. And then Nebraska's going to have Trelly. Mizzou's going to have Sinclair. Wait, let me see. How many did I have for Penn State? 1, 2, 3, 4. Penn State's going to have 4 champs. Regardless, those are my NCAA predictions. Coach Cala here. I'm hoping to get on for a little bit during Big Tens. I'm going to be doing the DC High Rocks next week with my twin brother. So I might not be on, but I'm hoping to do a Big Ten prediction video, which is probably going to be a little bit different than some of the names on here because I think people are going to let it fly at Big Tens, and that's why Penn State and the better teams are going to peak at the right time and win NCAAs instead. But as always, appreciate you all watching. This was episode 7 of Matt Chat, just a PE teacher from Connecticut, marathon runner, High Rocks athlete, and wrestling, NCAA wrestling lover, also a high school wrestling coach. But really appreciate you all tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and comment below who your NCAA wrestling picks are. Appreciate all you. Bye.